Hi, welcome. This is the Quiet Zone Coaching, and I am your host, Susan Patang. We're going to talk about getting the tools that you need to stay calm and carry on when it's all hitting the fan. This is the emotional first aid kit that you've been waiting for. So I'm going to put up the slides because I love using slides. They're a lot of fun. Okay, so you're asking me, how am I going to get through the day? It is impossible to function in your life when your emotions are spiraling and you're preoccupied with all the stuff that's going on. Big life events like marriage and divorce, births and deaths, moving, and even career changes can put us on an intense emotional roller coaster, up and down, happy and sad. All of these emotions can overwhelm us, paralyze us, and prevent us from being effective at work, taking care of the kids or the other responsibilities that we have. Processing those emotions is really necessary, but that can take time. So what can we do when we have to get things done right now? Okay, how can we get through this moment? And that's what this mini class is going to give you. It's going to give you the tools to function when your emotions are spiraling. Okay, so the first one, you're gonna know some of these already. Take 3 or 4 deep breaths, and there's a reason for that. There's a nerve that runs through the center of your body, and it's called the vagus nerve. When you stimulate that nerve by doing deep breathing, it sends a signal to your brain to relax your body. That's why when we're upset, everybody says, oh, take a deep breath. Another one that you're probably familiar with is relaxing your muscles. Okay, so you start at the top of your head and you let all of that tension as you scan down your body drain out the bottom of your feet. Consciously relax any muscles that are tight. Feel the weight of your body in the chair. Especially when we're stressed out or angry, our muscles are going to tighten up without our even being aware of it. How many times have you noticed you clenching your jaw, your shoulders are tight? So consciously relax your muscles. While you're doing that, give yourself a trigger word like relax or de-stress or calm, because what will happen is as you practice doing that, your brain is going to recognize that the word calm or whatever your trigger word is going to mean that you need to relax. So you'll be able to actually just think the word and have your body relax by itself. Now, this is something you probably don't know, and we're going to spend a little time on it because it's really super effective and it takes a little while to learn it, but once you practice it, it's really awesome. It's called ilio, the ilio process. Identify, label, isolate, and observe. By using this process, you are going to take that big black honking cloud of emotion that's about to swallow you whole, and you're going to strap it into the back seat like you would when you're driving and the kids are out of control. You say, okay, that's it, knock it off, strap in, sit down, be quiet. We will deal with it when we get home. And you're doing the same thing with those emotions. So here's how it works. Identify and label the emotion, and then isolate it, and then observe it. Okay, so we're going to start with identify and label. Here's what that sounds like. I'm feeling angry because, I'm feeling irritated because, I'm really afraid that this is going to happen. I'm anxious about the way this is going to turn out. I'm feeling depressed because, it's really sad that, okay, you're identifying and labeling those emotions so that you're shrinking them down from that big black cloud to the size of a label. The next part is isolate. So locate where it is that you're feeling it in your body, just like you were exercising, relaxing your muscles. Okay, well, where is it? Is it in your jaw? Is it in your stomach, your chest, your shoulders? Now, if you can't find a specific place where that emotion is living, make a space for it. Put it there, put it in the tip of your finger or your earlobe or the tip of your nose, okay? And then what I want you to do is put a bubble around it, put a membrane around it. Imagine it like a tarantula that you don't want to have crawling around your body, okay? You can imagine it as either a membrane or a glass tank with the lid clamped down on it. Okay. Now, the idea is to keep it in one place so that it doesn't take over your body and start driving. You want it to be in the back seat. Okay. It's allowed to be there, but not to be in control, because you know as well as I do that if you try to stomp down emotions and push them away and ignore them, they come back and bite you in the butt later, even worse. So they're allowed to be there, but they can't leave that spot. And then what you're going to do is observe it. Now that you've contained it, just observe. Okay, and we just spoke about not squashing them down or ignoring them because they don't want to come back like a volcano. So let it live in that little bubble in the membrane or in the cage. Observe it. What does it feel like? Is it a burning acid pain? Does it feel like a rock? Is it heavy? Maybe it's a tightening rubber band, or it's molasses that you can't wade through. Whatever the sensation, notice the experience of it. So what you're doing is you are taking away its power to control you. And what's going to happen is it's slowly going to dissipate. And you can tell yourself, it's okay to have these feelings. This is what it's like to feel whatever that emotion is. Okay. The problem arises when we let those emotions take over and drive our lives, but you're allowed to have them. When stuff happens, it's not the stuff that's causing our grief or our pain or our anger. It's our response to it. So while you're observing the emotion in the little bubble that it's riding in, you tell yourself, this is what it's like to feel, okay? And remind yourself that human beings react to stress sometimes this way. Okay, here's another tip for getting rid of the stress, is to do something physical. This is really useful, especially when you've already gone through the ilio process, and that stubborn emotion, and usually hints it's anger or fear, it just won't go away. It's just lingers. Usually it does dissipate, but when it doesn't, punch a pillow, yell at the top of your lungs, jump up and down, run around the room a few times, do something physical, get on the treadmill. My personal favorite is to shred a box of tissues, okay? Make sure you're willing to clean up the mess and don't hurt yourself or destroy anything in the process. But yeah, you know, this is a great way, if whatever method that you have at your disposal in the moment, that's what you need to take. You can also do a 30-second meditation, and this one is really fun. Pick up any object, and I'm just going to pick up my pen here. It could be something in your handbag, something on your desk, something in your pocket, and take 30 seconds just to observe it. What color is it? What's it made of? How was it made? What is it used for? Consider the miracle that is that tool or that object and what it does for you. By focusing on something that's random like that, we interrupt that thought spiral enough to get a grip on what's happening and calm down. Ask yourself this: how important is this really? This is a great way to determine if you're making a mountain out of a molehill, which is really easy to do when you're getting amped up, or not. Is what's happening going to change the course of your life? Is it going to matter in 5 years? Is it going to matter in 5 hours? Is it going to change the weather on Jupiter or make the sun flame out? Okay. If it is important, you can ask yourself, well, how important is this for me to be upset about right now? Okay. Create a quick plan to deal with it. Make a plan and say, okay, I'm going to come up with a budget because I'm worried about money, and I'm going to put this on the back burner and move on with your day. Okay. So it may be important, but it's not important for you to be stressed out about right now. Ask yourself, what's something positive and constructive that I can do about this? One of the best ways to manage a stressful situation and the overwhelming emotions that come with it is to focus on solving the problem. Like I was saying, have a plan. So what can you do about it? Formulate that plan, and then you can put it on the back burner. If you have time, you can make a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, a plan Q, as many plans as you want. Even if things don't work out the way you wanted them to, or all of your plans bite the dust, At least focusing on solving the problem is better than being a victim. And what that does is it takes the worry about that problem out of the front of your mind and puts it on the back burner. Ask yourself, what kind of energy am I sending out into the world? I know it sounds woo-woo, right? But it's not. The rest of the world can read our micro expressions, our body language, our attitude, and our mood just by being around us. So the energy or the vibe that we're sending out into the world can be sensed by others and boomeranged back at us. So if you're out of control, angry, or having an emotional meltdown, what are you sending out into the universe? Because that's what you're going to get back. This is so important that I want to talk about it a little bit more. Okay, so consider the new car factor. The last time you got a car, did you suddenly notice all the other ones just like it on the road? That wasn't the Jolly Green Giant dumping those cars into your world. Now you are familiar with that model, and you're going to notice them out on the road where you never noticed them before. And in the same way, others who sense our mood and our attitude are going to find it familiar if they feel like that too. And they're going to be attracted to us because that's familiar to them. So what kind of people do you want around you? Do you want negative people? Do you want angry people? Do you want happy people and calm people? Okay. And believe me, psychic vampires can sniff that out. You do not want that in your world. Ask yourself this: what would my hero do? Who is somebody you admire? Is it Jesus or the Pope or Gandhi or your next door neighbor who's always calm, cool, and collected? What would that person do in this situation? What would the best version of you do in this situation? What would the person your dog thinks you are do right now? Here's another one. What kind of example do you want to set for your kids? And if you don't have kids, what kind of example do you want to set for other people? Whether we like it or not, our kids are watching. We are their role models. They learn how to be a wife, a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, a human being from watching what we do. So our emotional responses are going to teach them how we think they should behave. What kind of role model do you want to be for your kids? And if you don't have kids, you are teaching other people how you want to be treated. Now, here's the link for your appointment. Okay. You're also going to get that in your email and in the worksheet. If you're a client and this is your first unit, just go to the URL and book a coaching session. If you've gotten this class from either your divorce professional or your doctor or online, go to this link to schedule your stress damage assessment. And I wanted to thank you again for coming aboard and taking this emotional first aid class. I love feedback. Please let me know when we meet together how you liked the class and how it worked for you. So until we speak, I hope you have a wonderful, awesome, amazing day, and I hope wonderful things happen for you.